Good morning, good afternoon, whatever the time is where you are. I am just making sure I am live in all the platforms. My name is Carmen Benton, and today we're going to talk about how to find happiness in your relationship. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay, and say hi in the comments. I actually have the comments open over there and over here, everywhere. So I can say hi to you back. We are live. And let me start by saying, if you would have told me that I was going to be talking about this a while back, I would totally have laughed. Because if I were to summarize my life, I would say career success, relationships failure. And I have obviously come to the point where I had the right mindset, the right basement and ceiling so that I could achieve all kind of professional success. I could have financial abundance. I've done the travel, I have the cars, I have the houses. But in the relationship areas, there was something that was missing. And I stumbled upon new things last year that I want to share with you. I consider myself as a master of mindset already. And of course, you can always learn more. But I thought I was pretty good there. And I had evidence in my life that reinforced that belief in my life. But there was definitely something missing, and that was energy. And so the very first lesson I want to share with you today, and there are going to be 3 lessons. The very first lesson that I want to share with you is that mindset alone is not going to help you be happy. What? Yeah. So when we talk about mindset, really the things that we're talking about are your thoughts that become what you believe, because the belief is the thought that you keep thinking. The stories that reinforce your belief, because you have to make sure your belief actually keep being truth. And the personas that come to defend those thoughts and those beliefs will ultimately determine who you are, your identity. That is what you work on when you're working on your mindset. And this is why I say that I help women find happiness in their relationships, and it doesn't have to be romantic relationships. It could be any type of relationships. But let's talk about romantic relationships without therapy, even if the other person doesn't want to be on board, because we go beyond mindset in my one-on-one coachings. So mindset, all these things that we talk about, is not enough, because yes, you talk about the traumas and the problems that you have, the things that are not serving you, the beliefs that are limiting. But what happens is that these beliefs, these traumas, these thoughts have created a wound in your energetic field. And unless you can remove those blocks, you won't be able to get that far. And that's probably why you are in your life where you are. Because mindset is kind of a thing that everyone knows about. Everyone talks about having positive thoughts, pattern interrupts, and so on. Even though it's a mainstream, that's the word I was looking for. Not everyone does it, but it's a concept that is well known. And the concept then that you need more than your mindset is a little foreign for a lot of people. So let me give you an example. So I live in Alaska, and after months and months and months of snow, the one thing that we are always looking forward to is spring. Because with spring comes the green grass and the beautiful flowers and the trees and all that. But then what happens is that this grass has been, punished and traumatized by the snow for 6 months. So it comes back with dry patches and dead patches, right? So let's pretend that the grass is your life, and then you have all these traumas spread out through your brain and your heart and some other places in your body. So water alone is not going to fix it. And you're probably going to have to either put some fertilizer, organic fertilizer, or you're going to have to hire someone or get yourself the machine to aerate the grass. So that combining all those techniques, the grass can actually have everything it needs to come back to life. And so that is kind of what happens with the concept of mindset versus energy. Mindset is just one of the pieces of the pie to be able to achieve happiness in your life. But without energy, you're not going to be able to get there. So then let me talk to you about lesson number 2, which is that energy is not that woo. So when I start talking about energy, a lot of people freak out a little bit, right? And they think that we're going to talk about some esoteric or out of this world concept. But let's all agree that there is very famous people who we trust with their discoveries and their inventions that have acknowledged already that energy is a real thing. Albert Einstein, for example, said that energy is everything, and that is all that there is to it, right? So if we believe in all the things that Einstein did for us, why we wouldn't believe on that? Now, here's the interesting thing. If energy is everything, why then not everybody has the same access or the same manifestation of energy in their lives? This is when it gets really tricky. So let's talk about how energy affects your relationships. So energy, it's the sum of all the things that are broadcast from beings, us, tables, trees, water, whatever, right? Everything broadcasts out energy in a way of a frequency. And if you have heard in any way or fashion the laws of the universe, you will know that in order to attract something into your life, in this case, happiness, you must match the frequency of that you want, right? You follow me? Yes, say yes and yes in the comments. So something like Oliver, if you know what it is. So your emotions produce a frequency, right? And things have a frequency. So what you want is that your emotions match the frequency of happiness. So let's talk about factual terms here. The frequency of happiness is 540 hertz. And in a scale of 0 to 700, that's pretty up high, right? Now, here is another interesting fact. Neutrality means I'm okay. So when I ask you, hey, how's your day going? And you say, I'm okay, I'm fine, everything is okay, right? Nothing like, oh my God, I'm so eager for the day today, or I'm so full of life and optimism. Neither, life sucks or I'm frustrated, right? You're just okay. That is at 250 hertz in frequency. 250. Now, sadly enough, most of humanity vibrates around 175 hertz. That is a huge jump to the 540 happiness that you want. So how can you get to happiness? How can you be happy if you're vibrating this low? So why are you vibrating that low is the real question, right? And here's the thing. You might have worked on your mindset and address all the limiting thoughts, change your belief, pattern interrupt them, change your stories, and all that. But you haven't addressed the blocks that those beliefs, that those traumas, big or small, because little traumas cause blocks too, you haven't addressed the effect of those thoughts, of those traumas in your energetic field. And they are pretty much serving as a barrier between your being and the universe. So you try to broadcast these new emotions of happiness, but it's getting stuck in your own field because you are blocked. So, for example, and this is the only example I can come up with, right? So bear with me. So let's say that someone needs a stem because they have a clogged artery. So the artery is collapsed, and they go put the stem in, and it opens it up, and now has space for the blood to flow, right? And it can go through your body. Same thing is with energy. Energy goes in and unclog the blocks that you have in your energetic field, so that you can then be able to broadcast that frequency that is being produced by your thoughts. In other words, doing mindset work without energy is putting lipstick on a pig. You still have a pig with lipstick, but unless you address the energetic effect that those thoughts, those blocks, those limiting beliefs creating in your energetic body, you're not going to be able to broadcast to the universe the frequency of happiness, and therefore you will not be able to attract it. So that is really interesting right there. And this is why I say that therapy doesn't work. And I have nothing against therapists, but therapists only work on your mindset, meaning that you're only working on the now and future problem. You're not working on unclogging all your arteries, unclogging all the pipes of energetic flow, the energetic highways of your body. And so mindset is still important, don't take me wrong, because once you have unclogged the energetic highways in your body, if you don't address your mindset, then it will get clogged again. So it's this beautiful balance between both things, right? Which is all great, but unless you have the third thing, it's very hard to do. So the third lesson that I wanted to share with you today is that you must love yourself first. So one of my mentors in her coaching certifications said many times that love is the lubricant of light. And in this case, light is all the information I'm giving you. Light is the mindset work. Light is the energy work. But without love, that information is not going to be easy to get into your existence, because there's some work that you're going to have to do. The work needs to come and happen from within. You have to own the fact that there is things that you need to shift, that there is trauma that needs to be healed, that you have as much part in the unhappiness of your life as any other person around you. And with that ownership, unless you love yourself, will come guilt and shame. So self-love is actually super important and critical to the success of the process. So many people ask me how I was able to achieve a transformation so dramatic and so fast in my life. And I thought about it a lot. And what I came up with was that I have already primed my body and my mind and my energetic field with self-love. You know, when you prime the walls before you paint them with a fancy color. So self-love had already primed my mind and my energetic field in order to be able to assimilate the lessons that I was getting from mindset and energy. And this is what you have to do. And actually, what happened in my story is that before I ventured into these things, I really went deep in self-love. And I was looking and looking for so many ways and resources to be able to master self-love, and I couldn't find anything. And this is was one of my first experiences channeling information. And I channel a book that I call the Self-Love Mastery that I am hoping to publish soon. And in this book, I was able to download steps to be able to love myself. And the 4 steps that I was able to come up with in the channeling experience, and I applied to my life to be able to learn to love myself the real way. Because, yeah, you can say that you love yourself, but if you're not doing this for things that I'm going to tell you, you probably are not. The first one is to forgive yourself. And it's interesting because yesterday I was listening to one of my mentors, and they were talking about forgiveness and how forgiveness might not be attainable. However, I have a definition of forgiveness that allowed me to bypass my logical mind to be able to apply into my life. And this definition of forgiveness is to have a conscious, deliberate decision to let go of resentment, hurt, or pain, regardless whether it makes sense or not. So see, every part of that definition has a purpose. It's deliberate, making it conscious, right? I am deciding with my conscious brain to do this. Like I am deciding to brush my teeth. Like I am deciding to have breakfast. Like I am deciding to go to the gym even if I don't feel like it. Like I am deciding to get up at 7 in the morning even if I would like to sleep till 9. It's a deliberate, conscious decision, right? Of let go. Let go means to free, to liberate, to put it in the hands of God or the universe. To have a higher power helps you with the journey. To surrender to the idea of it may be a lesson that you need to learn. The pain, resentment, all those things, whether, regardless, it makes sense or not. And that is key there. Because I encountered so many people that said, well, but they did me so wrong. He cheated on me. Or he was mean to me. You can come up with all kinds of ideas, right? Regardless, it makes sense or not, because you're not forgiving for any other person. You're forgiving for yourself. When you are living in the vibrations of not having let go, of not forgiving, you are most likely living in shame and guilt and hate. And those are very low vibrations. I'm talking like less than 100. And remember that you want to get to 540, right? So make it that your motivation. I want to be happy. If what you want is to be happy, and by the way, Abraham Hicks says, and that was one of the things that just hit me so clearly many, many years ago when I heard it, was that everything you want in life, the money, the boyfriend, the husband, the cars, the travel, the kids, the house, the clothing, the jewelry, everything you want in life, you want it because you think that by having it, you will be happier. So my brain in that point made the connection and decided, what if I can be happy today? And then what happened, the magic of the law of attraction, is that once you become happy today, everything else that represents happiness comes to you. The happy relationship, the more money, the things, whatever it is, right? So I digressed. I was talking about forgiveness. And yes, forgiveness is important because it raises your vibration and we want to be happy. The second thing to be able to love yourself is to unconditionally show self-love to yourself. But here is the thing. How can you love someone that you don't know? And most people walking out there, I used to be one of those, but I have mastered this for a while now. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they like. They don't know why they should love themselves. So there is this movie, Runaway Bride. with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. If you are Gen X, you probably watched it. If you're not, you really need to watch it because it has very good life lessons. So she's the runaway bride. And when she actually got to the point where she was going through her transformation, she decided that she was going to go and find who she was and what she liked. So she went to this diner and she ordered all different types of eggs because she didn't know what type of eggs she liked. Every time she went to brunch with her significant other at the time, she will order exactly what they like. If they like scrambled eggs, she will order scrambled. If they like sunny side ups, she will order those. So she ordered all the eggs, scrambles, Benedicts, sunny side up, whatever, right? And she realized, this is the type I like. By the way, if you're still watching here, let me know in the comments what type of eggs you like. I love Benedicts. Benedicts are my favorite type of eggs. And I don't care if the person sitting next to me wants to have scrambled eggs. I'm going to get Benedicts. So when you actually learn to love yourself, you can set boundaries and you can actually start to appreciate you for who you are. And you can start honoring your needs and you can start asking other people to honor your needs too. And by the way you love yourself is the way you show others how to love you. So if you don't know how to love yourself or why you should love yourself, how can that person in the room across the table next to you can love you? You need to show them how to do that. And the third step is you have to celebrate your accomplishments, the good things about you. Because here's the thing, and answer this from your heart. When is the last time you actually fell in love or wanted to be with someone who you didn't admire? I am pretty sure the answer was never. Even that, friends or colleagues or, loved ones, right? Friends, you're attracted to people who you want to be more like. You might want to be a little more outgoing, or you want like to be funny, or you like to be more giving or caring. And so you gravitate to those people because the energy pulls you. Maybe at work, there's someone who's really, really smart and you would like to be a little more like them. Same, with your partner. Maybe at first was all physical attraction, but then you learn to love something about them. So the same thing is with yourself. If you don't have anything to admire yourself for, to celebrate yourself for, how are you supposed to love yourself? So you hear many people that says, oh, write the things that you're supposed to be proud of. But nobody does it. And I'm talking about very simple things as well as very accomplished things, right? Do you make your bed every morning? Do you feed your kids breakfast or lunch? Are you a good cook? You know how to sew? Do you have an iron? By the way, fun fact about me, I don't own an iron. I never have, and I never will. So I'm not proud of that, but that's me, right? That is who I am. But if you know to iron something without burning it, that could be in your accomplishments list. So celebration is super important. And the last piece of self-love is to be able to set the boundaries and kick out to the curb anything that's not allowing you to flourish. Because what happens is when you don't love yourself, you don't think enough about yourself, you will put up with people and things that keep you in that rock bottom, in that basement. And what you want to do is to raise to the vibration of happiness. So how all this applies to relationships. So let me summarize it for you. So here you are, wanted to be in a happy relationship, right? And you are either arguing all the time or totally feeling disconnected or not seeing eye to eyes, not liking the same things. It's just not going anywhere, right? So you continue to think these things. You continue to think how life is not what you want it to be, how maybe you're not good enough to find the person who's going to make you happy, and you think all those thoughts. So you you form beliefs, and then you start telling yourself stories. This is why I'm not happy. I'm not happy because this and that and that. Those are stories and the rules that enforce the stories. So the more you say that in this cycle, right, because it's showing to you every day. You can see it every day in your life. Now it's part of your story, right? You start creating blocks upon blocks upon blocks. Imagine this huge tower of Legos. And you can stop saying those things with mindset. You can stop right now. But what happens is that the tower of Legos is still there, put together with crazy glue, with the crinkle, right? So you need to come and swipe from the root all those beliefs. Not just stop saying them, but swipe all the damage that they have done to you. It's like going back to the jar analogy. You have weeds in your yard. Mowing the lawn is not enough because next week you will see new weeds. They grow like weeds, right? You have to pull them from the root. And that is exactly what energy does. It pulls them from the root so you don't have to deal with them again. But you need to make sure there's no more weeds coming. That is why there's this constant balance between energy and mindset that you have to have in your life. But in order for you to feel worthy enough to take the time and the effort and the energy that it takes to do this work that is so worth it, it's life changing, requires that you love yourself enough to make it a priority. So those are the three things that you need to do. That is exactly the things I do with my clients on my one-on-one coaching packages, which I have 4 left. And so I want to invite you to apply for a complimentary assessment session where I will show you exactly how this can be tailored into your life and help you find happiness in your relationships. And again, I'm talking about your marriage or your romantic relationship, also relationship with your kids. I have been able to transform completely the relationship with my kids at work, every aspect of your life, including the relationship with yourself. So in this link here, you will find the option to apply for a complimentary consult with me. And not only we will find out if we are meant to work together, if we are a good fit, but worst case scenario, you will leave with a complete blueprint of what you need to do to be able to find happiness in your life, including the relationships. So I hope this was so helpful. Let me know in the comments if you are in the replay, what was your takeaway? And I will see you next week in another episode. Thank you. Love you.